So you're thinking about moving to Culver City, California? Well, this is a map video in which I'm going to show you the top things to do in Culver City. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I will then show you both drive time and distance from Culver City to various destinations in Los Angeles County. Let's go do that now. So if this is your first time to this channel and you want to know everything about living in Culver City, California, then just tap on that subscribe button and then tap on that bell for notifications so that you can see what's going on in Culver City, California. I'm Lori Lynn Failer and I'm with Living in Los Angeles. Now we get phone calls, texts, and emails every day from viewers like yourself looking for help in moving to Culver City, California. And we love it. So whether you're moving in 9 or 90 days, whether you live outside the state of California, if you live in California like Northern or Central, or even if you live in Los Angeles County and you want to move to Culver City, give us a call, a text, an email so we can help you make a smooth move here to Culver City, California. So as I said, this is a map video and I'm going to show you the top things to do in Culver City. There's 8 to 10 of them. And then what we're going to do is we're going to look at drive time and distance from Culver City to various Los Angeles destinations. As you might or might not know, Los Angeles is #1 in most congested traffic. Yes, everybody has cars here. So you don't really look at mileage when you're driving somewhere. You look at time and whether it's prime time or non-prime time. So let me share with you my map and let's get that started. So here is our Culver City. Let me take that down just a little bit so that you can at least see. Okay, here's Culver City right here. Let me move my picture over a little bit. Culver City's right here. Here is downtown LA. We are just southwest. We're close to the Marina del Rey, the Venice Beach, the Santa Monica. Right here's LAX Airport. In a little bit, I'll go into more detail about those. So let's upsize it again and let's start our things to do in Culver City. This is the Wende Museum. This is a museum, art museum, and a research center. What the owner here is, he was a historian. He was very interested in the Cold War. So he has documented what life was like in Eastern Europe and the Soviet Union before and after the fall of the Berlin Wall. Now we're going to Sony Picture Studios. So Sony Studios was formerly the MGM Studios. A lot of filming takes place here. You can do tours. They have a coffee and walk tour. They have a little go-kart tour. It's a really nice lot. They've just added some new things to it. Things that were filmed here were like the Goldbergs, excuse me, Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune is filmed there. Spider-Man, Men in Black, Married with Children, and even The Wizard of Oz was filmed here. And I'm going to go a little bit further into that when we go over to visit Culver Hotel. All right, our next stop is actually the Culver Hotel. This is also known as the Triangle Hotel. Harry Culver, who was the founder of Culver City, this is where he had his offices. This hotel has a speakeasy bar in it. It's got a restaurant in it. They have music from time to time. In the evenings, you can actually dine and sit in the bar, and they have a blank wall in which they'll show black and white pictures, non-speaking pictures of Laurel and Hardy movies. It's really nice. Also, as I said, Mr. Culver had his office here. And during the filming of The Wizard of Oz, all 124 Munchkins stayed here at the hotel. It was led to believe that there were tunnels that went from the hotel over to Sony Studios underneath the city. I actually did a tour myself with a friend that worked there and did go down some steps that showed some doors which you would want to use your imagination and believe those were the tunnels, but they were padlocked and I didn't get to go down there. There are a lot of stories about the Munchkins staying there. And Real interesting. I don't know if they've ever been verified, but I do know for a fact that all 124 Munchkins stayed here at the Culver Hotel when they filmed The Wizard of Oz. Next is our museum. Nope, not the Pasta Sisters. Museum of Jurassic Technology. Has nothing to do with the Jurassic World, Jurassic movies. This is a museum of museums. It's a museum, as the owner states, that shows things about natural history that other museums do not want to show you. It has various exhibits in it. I have been through it. It's quite interesting. There's an exhibit called Tell the Bees. It is a pre-scientific cures and remedies for your health. There's one in there called Tales of Perfect Creatures. This was one of my favorites. They are a collection of oil paintings of dogs of the Soviet space program. There's another display in there called No One May Ever Have the Same Knowledge Again. It's a collection of letters and theories that were sent up to the Mount Wilson Observatory. One of the things I found interesting when I was in there was an exhibit of these needles, like you sew with, and they had little needles on blocks, and you look through a telescope, magnifying glass, and in it you could see somebody had painted little portraits in the eye of the needle. How in the heck somebody did that, I don't know, but I found that pretty amazing because you know how small a needle is and how small that eye is. At the end of the tour, they have a little tea room in which they offer you tea and biscuits and scones. Let's go to our next place. Actually, I want to go to the one just past that. Oh, this is the platform. Well, where is that? Platform. Platform is very new in the last 5 to 6 years. It's called the platform because it's a platform for independent businesses. There are restaurants there. There's an ice cream shop there. If you've watched some of my other Culver City videos, you know how much I love ice cream. There are boutique shops there, and that's why it was named Platform. So it was a platform for independent businesses. Margot's is there. And I don't know if you've ever heard of Roberto's out in New York City. It is a pizza place. And I'm going to tell you what, it's some of the most fabulous pizza I've ever eaten. If you don't really like pizza or you love it, go there. You will fall in love all over again with pizza. If you go right across the street, across Culver Boulevard, and this is very new here, it's called the Ivy Station. Here, you have a lot of different buildings. You have the brand new West Coast offices of Apple, HBO, Warner Media Entertainment. But next to that, you have Ivy Residences, and there's an apartment building. But the thing that I'm focusing on here is the retail shop. There's going to be really nice, fine dining there, regular dining, drive-up, takeout. There's some retail shops there. It's not even half full yet because they just opened it in the last year and a half and still getting things up. But that is right smack across the street from the platform. All right, let's go down here to Baldwin Hills Scenic Overlook. Yeah, there we go. It's right there. So Baldwin Hills it has a parks. It has what's known as the Culver Steps. You go up the steps. They're a little rigorous. There are some other routes in there that you can take to get up to the top, but it's 500 feet peak where you can see all around. You can see downtown LA. You can see the beaches. It's really, excuse me, a nice, beautiful hike. There are, let me upsize that a little bit so you can see what's there. Right here it is, Overlook. You've also, right here, you can see there is a park. Right next to it's called the Culver City Park. There's a skate park in there. As you see, there's a dog park. It's called the Boneyard. I used to take my dogs there a lot. There's 2 different parks there, one for the smaller dogs and one for the bigger dogs. I've actually ridden my bike over here. Excuse me, I've got a little frog in my throat. Right next here to the Baldwin Hills Overlook, you'll see what's called the Ballona Creek. There's actually a bike path there. It goes from Culver City, up here in Culver City, all the way down to Marina del Rey. You can split and go south down through the beach cities, Manhattan, Hermosa, and Redondo, all the way into Torrance. or you can go north up through Santa Monica and Pacific Palisades. But as you probably figured out, I do live in Culver City. Absolutely love it here. So much to do. So many new restaurants coming here as well. But I will jump on the Ballona Creek bike path and go over here, ride the trails up to the Baldwin Hills Scenic Overlook. All right, now we have the Kenneth Hahn State Park. Absolutely huge, huge park. This park has so much in it. It has disc golf. You'll see it right here. Has the hummingbird gardens. It has a picnic area. There are ponds in there. There's a pond here on the lower end, the lower park. You can actually fish in it. I've taken my dogs hiking there. A lot of family outings there. On the weekend, it costs to park, but during the week, it's free. Like I said, I do take my dogs there and hike a lot, make sure they're on leash. There's a Japanese garden. This is an absolutely huge, most beautiful park that you would want to visit. All right, so let me downsize back and let's look at drive time and distances. Let me get my handy dandy tool here. We'll move it down here. All right, so here we are in Culver City, and let's start with LAX. There it is, right there. LAX is about 5.5 to 6 miles, depending on which route that you take. It's not gonna take you much time to get there. You know, non-prime time, you're gonna get there in about 10 minutes. Prime time, you're probably gonna take you about 20 minutes because right here, this 405 gets a little congested. Evening time, about 4 o'clock, or let's go 3:30 to 7 o'clock. In the evenings, prime time. During the daytime, right through here, starts early. But if you're coming down this way during the mornings, you're actually going to be okay. All right, let's go to our next location. My marker keeps liking to disappear when I do that. So here we are in Culver City. Let's go to downtown. It's along the 10 freeway. Here is your downtown area. Also up here is Dodger Stadium. And we also have University of Southern California right in here. That's USC. Has Natural History Museums down there, the Science Museums down there as well. So you're gonna, let's see, it's about 11 miles. Non-prime time, you're talking 20 to 30 minutes. Prime time, you're talking 60. This is where traffic gets really bad. Right here on the 10, right in this area, it gets a little ugly. In the evening hours, we're talking again 4:30 to 8. Right in here, it's gonna get crazy. In the morning hours, I can drive pretty quickly through here. Morning hours are 6 to 8 o'clock, but when I hit this line right through here near Western Avenue is when things start getting bogged up a little bit. All right, let's go to our next one. Get my handy marker back up. And here we are in Culver City. Let's go up to Hollywood. There's so many different ways to go up Hollywood. You can go to the 405 up this way. You can take back roads in. You can go up to Western, Hollywood, and Highland. Here is your Hollywood area. So it's 7.1 to 9 miles, depending on which route you take. You are looking about 35 minutes in non-prime time. Early mornings, prime time into Hollywood, going to be around 7 to 9. Any other times non-prime. Evenings, prime time is going to be around your 3:30 to 6 o'clock. So this is a really hard drive coming up the 405 in the evenings because the 405 gets really gnarly and ugly. Your best bet's to take any of these little side roads and go through Beverly Hills, through West Hollywood on Santa Monica Boulevard. Take some of these little side streets like up Venice Boulevard or Washington Boulevard to get to Hollywood. With that said, let's look at Beverly Hills. All right, okay, here is Culver City. Beverly Hills is just a hop and a skip over here. So Beverly Hills is about 4.5 miles. It's prime time, it's gonna take you 22 minutes. Again, you're either gonna come up the 405 and jump on Santa Monica Boulevard up to Beverly Hills. That's what this is right here, Santa Monica Boulevard. If you're coming from another area in Culver City, you're gonna come through one of the side streets. Your traffic gets congested in Beverly Hills, but other than that, along the 405 here in the evenings, because people are going north home, you're gonna have some congestion. But other than that, your main congestion is going to be within Beverly Hills. So you're only talking about, I don't know, 15 to 20 minutes to get to Beverly Hills. All right, let's move on over to your campus. Here's Culver City. Let's go on up here to UCLA Hospital and UCLA campus. They are 5 to 7 miles away. They are right beside each other. That's Westwood. So that's where like I said, your UCLA hospital is. The campus is there. You're really going to get a lot of congestion because you're basically going to go up the 405 to get there and get off the exits there. There's several exits to get there. So morning drive time, you're not going to have any issues because there's not a lot of traffic going north on the 405, 10 minutes the most. If you're going in the evenings, prime time, 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock to 6:37, you're probably gonna be sitting a good 20 minutes because again, this 405 just is a bear in prime time traffic, whether you're going north or south. Okay, let's go over to another place people love to go. Here is Culver City. Let's go over here to what's called the Will Rogers State Park. This is where Will Rogers had his final home. There are polo fields there. There are hiking trails there. They have a lot of events out there. I do believe the polo scene in Pretty Woman was filmed there. I take my dogs hiking a lot there. There's bike trails there. There are so many things to do in Will Rogers. Now it's about 11 miles, kind of the same distance as downtown LA, just the other direction. You're talking in non-prime time, early mornings, about anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. Prime time evening, because you basically are going to go down the 10 here, hit the PCH or the 101 to go up there, unless you are taking the longer route, which is up the 405 across Sunset Boulevard to Will Rogers State Park. That 405 again, the 10, excuse me, the 10. Yes, the 405 gets congested here in the evenings. The 10, this direction doesn't get real congested. The PCH might be a little bit because that's the only way in and out of Malibu unless you go way north up on the 101. But you're probably, like I said, talking 10 to 15 minutes of non-prime time. Prime time, you're probably talking about 25 and up. Okay, let's see. Let's go to our beaches. We haven't done those yet. All right, here we are in Culver City. We have 3 different beaches: Santa Monica Beach, Venice Beach, Marina Del Rey Beach. They basically are between 5 and 7 miles. On the weekends, it's going to get gnarly, especially going into Marina Del Rey and Venice Beach, because you've got Venice Boulevard here and you've got Washington Boulevard, and a lot of people going to the beaches on the weekends. In the summer, well, we mostly have summer year round. So you're talking probably about 25 minutes plus prime time. The Santa Monica beaches, you've got a lot of people coming down the 405 on the weekends and hitting that 10 to get into the Santa Monica beaches. So that's not really going to affect you coming out of Culver City. You may have a little bit of traffic here on the 10, but you're not going to have anything like coming down the 405. So non-prime time, we're talking about 15 minutes. Prime time, we're talking, like I said, about 25 and up. Let's go look at a couple hospitals. Here's one right here. We already looked at the UCLA Medical Center. So here is a close hospital. It's the Cedars Sinai Marina Del Rey Hospital. Guys, that's 5 miles away. Very close. You're talking 12 minutes non-prime time, 20 minutes prime time. Whether it's daytime or evening, it's very, very close. that might even be exaggerating your drive time a little bit. Then we have one other, move this map a little bit, and it is, well, let me pop it up here so we can see it. Well, it is not showing it, but it is the, let me get my marker going. It's the Kaiser Permanente. So it's right here. And believe it or not, Kaiser is just about right in here. So it's the Kaiser Permanente, 1 mile, exactly 1 mile. That's why I said it's just so close. 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes in prime time traffic. Other than that, those are the two hospitals, the closest hospitals. There is another smaller hospital that's in Culver City called, it's the Southern Hospital. Let's see if we can find that in here. It may not be showing up because they've just recently redone that hospital. And it's off, it's right in this area here. Yeah, it's not showing it. It's right in here. Where's my marker? Yeah, it's along Venice Boulevard, and it's right there. I mean, you're right in the heart of downtown Culver City. So, you know, you live anywhere here in Culver City, it's less than a mile. It's less than going to Kaiser Permanente Hospital. So 5 minutes at the most. So at the end of this, which we are at the end now, I'm going to put up a slide that's going to show you some of the websites that you can visit these places, or you can go and learn about them yourself.